Hi, this is Margaret Scott, the first female writer in Transformers Comics, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Welcome to The Pull Bags, Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the back issue classics are also what's in the pull bag.
We need to look like something humans will accept. We need to be robots in disguise.
Hello and welcome to the Pull Bag. This is Back Issue Classics. This is the 32nd Back Issue Classic episode. I'm your host, TFG and Mike. Joining me is LadyWreck. Hello.
Hello.
And Nicole, BeatlesDiva. Hello.
Bonjour.
And before we get into today's topic,
we're going to bash on Derby driving.
The first Saturday in May, at least here in Kentucky, most people, or pretty much 95% of the state, I would be in the other 5%, really put a lot of care and love into the Kentucky Derby, which brings a lot of money in tourism. It does not bring gambling, because Kentucky is a no-gambling state. If you want to gamble, you got to go over to the boat to Indiana. But the first Saturday in May for us geeks is Free Comic Book Day, and this year Free Comic Book Day had a hell of a lot of surprises for us. There was the lackluster Secret Wars issue, there was the IDW TMNT issue, there was DC's Dumbass Divergence issue, and then there is another IDW title, Transformers Robots in Disguise. Thank God this has nothing to do with politics. So, before we get too far into this, really quickly, let's go around the room. Nicole, what is your usual habits on Free Comic Book Day? Do you ignore it? Do you celebrate it? What do you do?
I usually try to celebrate it. This year, because I've got a whole different work shift and stuff. It was crazy this year, so I didn't go this year because I think I was up for 36 hours, and I just couldn't stand to be in line for another 2. Because my comic book shop is huge. They make a big deal about it. They bring in professional comic book artists and writers. It's kind of like a little mini Comic-Con, and
That's cool.
it's a lot of fun. And the thing is, it's free. Of course,
That's the whole point.
Well, no, I'm talking about you don't have to pay for their signatures or their commission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I always tell people, you know what? He's put a lot of work into this. You need to buy something from him. I always try to encourage people. I love it. I adore it. I think it's a lot of fun. Again, I missed out on this year, which really sucks because new work shift this year did not agree with me. I'm getting old. Okay, so no, I love it. It's great stuff.
What about you, Amy? What's your tradition for Free Comic Book Day?
My tradition is hopefully to have the day off from being a parent so I can actually get out of the comic shop. This year I did not get a chance to. I feel like we're so lame this year. Everything's falling apart. No, I didn't get a chance to go down there.
Well, your boys are old enough, right? I mean...
Oh, yeah, well...
Why not make it a family outing?
That would have been possible to do that if my husband hadn't been out of town all week. So it just turned out that he was out of town all week, and we were just swamped with everything. It was May was insane for me. It was like so incredibly insane. Which is funny because we had field trips, and my husband was out of town for work. There was a funeral. There was a Comic-Con. There was the end of school. There was just tons of stuff. So yeah, and a camping trip. I mean, it was just we slammed everything into that month. Not that we intended to, but it just kind of did. So unfortunately, Comic Book Day for me just didn't happen. But the good thing is, I mean, not all comic shops. I mean, we're talking about this right now. Not all comic shops actually participate with Free Comic Book Day. So anybody, and if you're thinking about doing it next year, which is highly recommended, I recommend it. Other people recommend it. You got to call ahead, find out what your comic shop if they're doing anything free or anything like that, because sometimes people walk in like, hey, where's my free comics, and they're like, we don't do free comic book day here. So just let you know that does happen. So
I would say, and again, I'm probably guesstimating here. I would use the 95% thing, or I would say 95% of stores around the country do it.
Yeah.
And there's the other 5% that don't. Because let's face it, as Nicole said, while it may be free comic book day for us, the stores still have to purchase these things from the publishers. So,
and they still have to get them shipped to them too. So it's like, they still have costs on top of that. And then on top of all of that is like, some people don't have comic shops near them. And so that's the other half that this is like the first comic shop the comic shop that I have right now it's been open for like the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I haven't been always be able to participate with Free Comic Book Day because I didn't always have a comic shop nearby. So
yeah, and as Nicole said, if you can on Free Comic Book Day,
buy something.
You can get your you can get your free comics, but also if you want to really help out your shop, buy something. Doesn't matter if it's a comic, if it's a trade paperback, if it's a toy, a poster, just buy anything. Buy a Big Bang Theory Sheldon button. I mean, just anything. We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear some sort of audio clip, and we'll come back with Transformers Robots in Disguise, issue number 0 after this.
I'm not Optimus! It's too bad, because we could really use a Prime right about now.
All right, we are back, and it is time to talk about IDW's Free Comic Book Day 2015 offering, one of their offerings anyway, since they had 2 this year. Transformers Robots in Disguise, issue number 0. The only cover we had, because I don't think they did an alternate for this issue, is Bumblebee, Grimlock, Sideswipe, and Strongarm with a Ghost Prime in the background on it. What do we think of the cover, ladies?
It's awesome.
It definitely brings. I mean, it's very bright. It gets you to notice the comic, that's for sure. And of course, Bumblebee's the most recognizable character these days, and he's right in the center. So yeah, this was good marketing.
Absolutely. So it's almost weird to not have. And I know this is a special thing because it's Free Comic Book Day, but it's almost weird not to have a Transformers comic that has the previously on it, or or a cast of character page, or even the cover page.
That'll come next issue.
I know.
This is the Free Comic Book Day.
No,
version.
I know.
It's the reboot, so it doesn't have things like that in it.
True. And this issue is written by John Barber. Now, when issue 1 comes out in July, it will be written by Georgia Ball.
Oh.
However, the artist will be returning, so we're going to have Priscilla Tramontano on art full-time.
I like Priscilla.
Yeah,
she did a great job. This is really cool to see this. Really uber excited that she's going to be spearheading this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because her art is just fantastic.
We needed her, and no disrespect to whoever it was that was on the art on Beast Hunters, I don't remember, but we really need
Padilla.
Yeah,
maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. We really needed Priscilla on Beast Hunters because we're not even there yet, folks, but I'll just say right now, the reason why we needed Priscilla on Beast Hunters is because of the final page of this comic and how the TF Prime characters look. But Transformers Robots in Disguise, in general, for those that don't know, it's the new cartoon series airing at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Cartoon Network on Saturday mornings. Yes, that's right. I said 6:30 a.m., people.
That's if you're lucky enough to be on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Amy and I, we had to get up like at twilight hours.
1 o'clock?
No, if it's on at 6:30 here out in your area, Amy, it's 9 no,
3:30.
3:30
Oh,
and
okay.
Nicole is 4:30.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what everyone wants to do on a Saturday is wake up at that time. Thank
Yeah,
goodness for
This
it's
is what your
DVR.
DVRs are for.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the thing I said. And basically, this is a continuation of Prime, but what the cartoon series now is doing is it's the 3D models on 2D backgrounds. Um, it's kind of it's kind of like somebody took animated and Prime and meshed them together.
Yeah.
I could see that, yeah.
Um,
I always thought
So-
that it kind of had, and this is just coming from me because I watched it, but you guys remember the, shoot, now I'm going to pull a fix it again. Crap. Tron?
yes, Tron.
Oh yes,
Yeah, the
that
Tron.
was a good series. It ticked
It
me off
was.
to continue it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you remember kind of like the stylization of it?
Yeah.
There's a slight vibe of that, to me, at least, in the show.
I can see that.
You can just see the little bit of a nuance there. I mean, it's much more colorful than the Tron one was, but yeah.
Yep. And so far for that series, we are up to 13 out of the 26 episodes for season 1.
Yeah.
So, what are we? Have both of you watched different episodes of the series? Or
I've watched all of it.
I've watched all that's current as well. So,
okay. What do we think overall? Before we really dive into the comic, what do we think of the cartoon series overall to this point?
I think it's fantastic. I just like it. It's really good. I've found different things about it that it's hitting all the same kind of. It's hitting a right group of people that I think that just they're being smart about it. Where Transformers Prime was smart because they had so many characters, they're kind of doing about the same thing here, except it's not nearly as dark. It's a little more lighter and much more happy kind of feel to it. Not too chipper, but just like it's not the same dark, heavy, serious stuff going on like they did in Transformers Prime. Even though it had great comedy to kind of lighten that up, that we're not having to see that here in this show now. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with the comic. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Absolutely. Nicole, thoughts?
I have a love-hate relationship with it. Overall, I do enjoy it. I just wish they'd get over the villain of the week thing and get back to Steeljaw. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steeljaw,
For some reason, I was just like, that doesn't sound right. But and what he's up to. But it seems like it's just the villain of the week right now. And I want to get over that hump. I know it's got to be coming here soon.
You know, Transformers Prime had the same issue.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
The
I didn't
item
really,
of the week.
yeah, I didn't really get it. I had the same thing with Prime, because it's just like, okay, we're just collecting another item. Let's get on with the big story. Like I said, I still enjoy it. I just want them to get over that little edge and be like, okay, here we go.
I think the reason why, at least in the first season, they're doing the whole villain of the week thing is because they want to focus on, and this could be a Hasbro thing, I don't know. It might be just Jeff Klein, Adam Beechin, Merrick Scott, and the rest of the people that work on the cartoon series, but in the beginning of the series, the prison ship Alcamore crashes, all the Decepticons escape. They're essentially leaderless because we don't have any mention of any kind of Decepticon leadership whatsoever. Now, I do know that's coming because the last episode of Season 1 title is it has something to do with a mega villain. But that's the reason why they're doing the whole villain of the week thing, is because they want to highlight each of the characters that escaped from the ship.
It also gives them a good time to kind of introduce us to the characters and kind of do a little bit of character building and, to see where they're going with, where the hierarchy of the team is, which character is this person, which character is that person, and so we're learning about the characters too. I don't know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I kind of wish that they'd be having something different to kind of combat every single time, but it's kind of been their flavor. We're gonna just sit there and I'm like, okay, well, we'll just ride this until it exhausts itself, and then hopefully there'll be other things on the end of that.
Yeah, so with the comic here, the first page, we see the prison ship crash. We see the...
It's kind of like, it's like preview without being the preview.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is, all as I can hear in John's little narrations here is Thundercats on the loose. Oh boy. So we have the team assembled, we have Decepticons on the loose. The issue starts with a fire and a bunch of firemen. Now, in the show, so far to this point in the series, I don't think the humans have ever really... they've been around humans. Obviously, they're around Denny and Russell, but like a city at large, like firefighters or policemen or something, no one of authority has really seen the Transformers yet in the series.
Just Denny, who is the adult out of the whole thing.
Well, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Well, he is kind of an adult. Not really.
He's a fun adult. He's like us,
Oh, boy. Wow. Alrighty, then.
There's nothing wrong with that. I know what you're saying.
Well, because hey, we're all kids at heart, but we're all responsible adults,
Come on, we are 3 adults reading a comic here geared towards 6 to 10-year-old readers. I think we could say we're like Danny.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So we've got a fire in the forest. Hey kids, prevent forest fires.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And the firemen, are trying to figure out and get their gear together to fight this fire, and then all of a sudden, the bottom panel, we hear stomp, stomp, stomp.
This is the appropriate time to bring Smokey the Bear in here to say, Grimlock, only you can prevent forest fires.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome, too. Yeah.
And we see the...
Or better yet, we could turn Grimlock into Smokey the Bear. Put him in overalls and a hat. There you go.
Yep. So as we turn the page, we see the narration from one of the firefighters saying, "There's nothing going to come around and stomp out the fire and save the day." And guess what Grimlock is saying? Stomp, 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 stomp the fire, save the day. The title of the story is Fire When Ready.
I love Grimlock.
Yeah, Grimlock, John is really nailing his character. I'm kind of skeptical on Grimlock in the show because there are certain times where he just doesn't... I don't know, it just doesn't hit me right. But
he's a big teddy bear. I love him.
Well, he's wrecking things, and that's kind of your thing.
That's kind of my thing. But, surprisingly enough, when I was at Phoenix Comic-Con, because Adam Beecham was there, we had a panel and everything. Everybody loved Grimlock. Like, he got the biggest reaction from everybody on the panel, or everybody in the room that was there for the panel. So it was just kind of like, yeah, Grimlock. Everybody likes Grimlock. I was just going to say, I love him for a big toothy grin and the fact that he, wrecks things, too. He's the wrecker in the group. Although he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. So they're trying to get the fire out, and we have Strong Arm being her, stick up the butt officer kind of thing. And
now she's getting better. She is getting better.
She's starting to slightly release her hold on that. Slightly. Oh God! I can't even.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I can't even compare her to Prowl because I think she's like Prowl turned up to like Not in his way that he's in the other comics, but just he's like the rule book is like the word of God.
She's kind of like a mixture of Prowl and Ultra Magnus.
Yes, that's a good way of saying it. She's got all of the rule bookness of Prowl, and yeah,
And the OCD-ness of Ultra Magnus.
Yes, but it's like really turned up. I like the episode where she's like scratching herself because she's like got that nervous tick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So and I just thought of this. If people, we all know everybody ships characters, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If people ever ship her and Sideswipe because they're constantly bickering at each other in the cartoon series,
Yeah.
their ship name should be Sidearm.
Well, if they ever have a proto baby, that's going to be that's right?
Wow. Okay, back to the comic.
You know, I thought about that.
Something
I
else.
keep on thinking about that every time I watch it. I'm like, when are they going to get these two together? I guess that's more of James' department.
Oh boy. So we are introduced, or the new readers to the series are introduced to Strong Arm, Grimlock, Fix-It, Bumblebee, and Sideswipe, along with Denny and his son Russell.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think John wrote this really for us, even though, like, for those people that have already seen the show, because the scene here where Bumblebee says, "Hang tight, Strong Arm, I'll just grab Sideswipe and Will, where's Sideswipe?" And both Denny and Bumblebee, you don't see them, but you see the word, yelling off panel, "Sideswipe!" And he and Russell are off and running. Oh boy. And I love Priscilla's art. Why has she not been a full-time artist before?
That's a
because
good
we've got
question.
other artists that are established.
She has been on other things. She's just been doing coloring.
Yeah, but I mean, like, actual, the actual art. So we get into the standard argument of why the kid should not go on the mission, and it's too dangerous, and but it looks fun, and all this and all that. And, we have poor Fix-It. This wire needs surveillance, graciousness, maintenance. See, fun.
Poor guy.
Poor Fix-It. I remember when he was first announced and shown off, the entire internet just, like, threw their hands up and said, "Oh my god, I give up."
Right.
Because they're like, I don't know. I just remember a whole lot of people not being happy with Fix-It being a part of the team.
Yeah, the internet rages all the time. It's
You
like,
know what,
don't judge it till you see it.
People complain all the time about stuff that they don't know about. I again go back to animated. People were up in arms about the animation style and how ridiculous certain characters are going to be. By the end of the series, pretty much every Transformers fan loved that show.
We were all sad to see it go.
Uh-huh.
And they were up in arms again when they tried to do that.
Yep. Exactly. It's a fickle fandom. They
That's how
always
it
will
goes.
be. It always will be.
Yep. All right, so as we go along here, we get to the point where the villain of the issue, Flame Feather, always Autobots. Well, if you can't avoid them, burn them. Flame Feather is a bird who breathes fire. He's essentially a fire-breathing dragon, except he's a bird.
Yeah, hence the Flame Feather.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the good names are taken.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have a third Takeor.
It could
or
be
a fifth. Or
Burning
a sixth.
Tankor.
Burning Tankor.
Well,
That's
there's,
funny.
Fat Tankor. What was the other Tankor?
Tall Tankor.
Tall Tankor, fat Tankor, burning
Uh-huh.
Tankor. There you go.
Nicole, what do you think of the story so far here?
It's got my it's not too bad. It goes along. We'll see, because I've been watching the show when this came out, so it wasn't anything new to me. So I couldn't really say, oh, it's got my, it's got my complete attention. No, I think it's fun. You can see the personalities in all the bots, and Russell and Danny. Yeah, Fix It. His eyes are just adorable. He's so cute. Yeah, so far so good.
What about you, Amy, overall for the story?
I have to agree with most of what, with everything that Nicole said. It's really fun. It's definitely something I'd be like, hey, I would definitely get this for my kids, because they were like, hey, at that age, it's the target audience. So, definitely works for me, and it goes right along with the show. I mean, this is something I could very easily see as an episode.
Oh yeah,
and the art is just fantastic. I just want to, give Priscilla a big hug and say thank you so much. It's awesome.
And they have to scour the playground for a fire-breathing bird. I want to see this issue as an episode, just to see how they would animate and show us the map that Priscilla drew with all the characters.
This right here, this is my favorite part of this. I think this map, this double-page map, is just adorable and fun, and yeah, I really like this part.
You got Grimlock munching on dino burgers. Yeah, this is just so fun.
Does that make him a cannibal?
Potentially, yeah. So they've got to split up and search and find Flame Feather. They eventually do find him, and a major fight kind of ensues, and basically, Grimlock covertly stomps Flame Feather.
See, okay, I feel sorry for this poor Khan, because he just wants to go home. That's all. He doesn't want to cause a ruckus. He just wants to get home. You know what? I feel sorry for the guy. And these Autobots, they're the villains of this story, because they're like, oh, we're going to take him down. He just wants to go home. Don't hurt him.
Yeah, let's forget the part that they're criminals.
Well, yeah, but really. He just wants to go home.
But he's a criminal.
Yeah. We've all made mistakes.
He's okay. I know I'm never, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this. I know I'm never gonna get this through Nicole's head, because she is a Decepticon sympathizer. He is a Decepticon villain, bad guy.
He's
who
just
basically is igniting forest fires.
What about Knockout?
Wait. Grimlock is a Decepticon still. He still hasn't gone through his little ceremony to make him an Autobot. So he should be locked up too.
But he's dumb and gullible enough to be fooled into being a good guy.
Maybe Flame Feather could be that same way. They're just not giving him a chance. Poor Flame Feather.
Decepticon sympathizer.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So this one ends with them looking at a weird statue, and we get an internal monologue here saying that could have gone better. Flame Feather's down, and now Bumblebee and his team are involved. When I first sat here and read this, I'm like, who the hell is, before I turned the page obviously, who the hell is saying this? And lo and behold, Robots in Disguise meet Transformers Prime. We've got Bulkhead, Ultra Magnus, and RC.
This is so cool. This is what made this I want to say episode, it's not episode.
Comic, yeah.
This issue.
Yeah.
Yep. It really, really did. Because we have no idea why they're here.
It's a good hook.
It's a really good hook.
Yeah.
Especially if you're fans of the last one. You know, like, hey, I wonder if the other characters are going to be in this. And boom, then we have the comic. It's like, oh, we're going to get a crossover. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we get at the bottom, to be continued in Transformers Robots in Disguise #1, available at comic book stores everywhere in July. And it even gives us the cover to the first issue here. Reporting for Beauty, Snooty, Duty. Why are Ultra Magnus, RC, and Bulkhead on Earth? Will they be friend or foe to Team B? Find out this July in Robots in Disguise #1. Overall, this is a fun little issue. There's even a little letter back here from John Barber. I absolutely love that. There's even an added little comic here at the top of the letter page.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is so
I thought
fun.
that was cute.
Oh my gosh, that was so adorable.
The art on this little thing is done by Travis Singawis, and the colors are done by Priscilla. I really dug this issue. I really did. I thought this was so cool. I am so glad they're doing this.
It's very solid, very solid. Fits right into the universe. I mean, quite literally, this could just be an episode episode excerpt from the show. But the fact that they put the Transformers Prime characters in it makes me go, oh, are they gonna do that in the show? Or are they? Will they? Probably not, but you never know. They could have one of the characters maybe eventually. I don't know. They could do pretty much anything with it. It's so new and everything. They could have a sneak preview or not a sneak preview, but they could have an episode where one of the characters just play a role for like a short time and then go back to wherever they're going, like Drift. True. You know.
Oh no. Okay. Anyway.
We're not going to make any comments on that, no?
Not right now, no. Transformers, Robots in Disguise, the comic and the cartoon are brand new. The cartoon is in the Prime Universe, as is at the beginning of this episode, so who knows what's going to happen with the cartoon? Who knows who's going to show up? And like Amy said, it could just be for an episode or so. But I do think they're also going to bring in they kind of have brought in completely unknown characters in every single Decepticon that has been in the show to this point. Because they're all new characters.
No Predacons either.
Not yet.
Yeah. The only characters that we really know are Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. That's about it. Everybody else is just brand new.
Well, yeah, you're right. I would say Sideswipe is another consistent character, but this version of Sideswipe is new to us. But the name and the car and all that,
and the Grimlock is a different Grimlock than we've known too. So
yeah.
Although I have to say, he still has that Wrecker personality.
And you know what I just realized? The reason why he probably is going to become a wrecker? He's a green fucking dinosaur. He's the wrecker color green. No, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just, now looking at the cover again, I'm like, oh boy. Amy, what would you rate this issue?
Oh, it's a solid 4.
Okay. Nicole?
I'd say that too. It was a lot of fun. Between the 2-page spread and that last page where the Prime character, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Why is Ultra Magnus, what are they going to do to this other team? That's what's got me intrigued. That's what's going to make me want to read the next issue.
Or B, and in fact, they're friends with B.
Yeah, and so why are they going after him? What happened?
Yeah. It's that he won't understand what we're doing. He's our friend, Ultra Magnus. There's no reason to be mad at each other. We can work together again. RC, tuck some sense into him. Sorry, Bulkhead. What we're doing is too important to let friendship get in the way. Yeah, that's just...
I just can't see RC saying that, but okay.
I could see her saying it.
I can.
But they're saying friendship. I'd say there was more of a family vibe when Transformers Prime ended. But we don't know what has changed between Transformers Prime ending and Robots in Disguise picking up. So,
True.
we'll see. It's enough to suspend my disbelief, so that it's possible that, hey.
Yep.
What about
And
you? What are you saying?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Really love Priscilla's art and colors and all that, and I like John's writing. I really do. But I really thought that this was going to be George's debut, and I wanted to see, like, the whole point for me for Free Comic Book Day for getting this was, oh, I'm going to see a new writer. I want to see how they write these, because we've seen John write nearly everything, for the most part, or, one or two issues of kickstarting something. I understand why he's on here. I don't have a problem with that, but I really wanted to see and judge Georgia Ball as a writer on this issue 0 more so than John, because I already know what to expect from John when it comes to his writing. But absolutely, I mean, this is a fun issue. It's going to be a fun series. Can't wait to do more of these. And it's going to be interesting to see, as we've already said, what other characters show up in the comic. So. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it. Where can the people find you online, Amy?
You can find me on Twitter at LadyWreck.
Nicole?
Find me on Twitter at BeatlesDiva. That's Beatles like the band, not the bug.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for this issue of this episode of The Pull Bag. Join us next time when I have no idea what the hell is going to be on the episode. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
Bye-bye!
Fix it, back to the ship and get that cell ready. Russell, stay here with Sideswipe. Everyone else, we're a team now. And we're all that stands between Underbite and the loss of a lot of innocent lives. So let's do what we have to do. Roll up and roll out!
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you are leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at GeekCastRadio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.